Okay, let's look at my solar setup for Burning Man. Those are self-contained 110 watt panels. Because there were not enough, I bought another two sets of 30 watts. Plus the 20 I had lying around. Um, they're all running at about 18 to 20 volts, so I was able to take these and wire them directly into this, along with those idle panels. And currently they're making 1.9 amps, which is not a lot because the sun is gone. And if I plug the extra, I go down to 1.1, which is showing that they're making a difference. Let me plug them back in. There we go, we went to 1.8 again. That's just because, well, the sun right now, not so much. But that's okay. For testing, so now I'm using, I made my own adapter with a power cord, because you actually want thick wires so you don't lose electricity, or use, yes, due to resistance. And I can replace by any power cord I want of any length. Then this is going inside my tank. So I have a big buffer battery here, and I have 2 meters. This meter here is showing what's being used. Currently it's being 5 amps are being used. And this is what's coming in. I have 1.7 amps, which is not a lot, but during full sun it should be 6 or 7. Here I'm turning on some loads. Okay, so let me show you what I have plugged into it. This is my laptop. It's using 20 volts. So I made my own adapter that's using 12 volts and makes 20 out of it. Currently it's using 2.3 amps to make those 20 volts. Here I have a LiPo charger. Interesting thing, it's showing 12 volts here. When it's plugged directly into the battery, that's at 12.4 volts. And the reason, again, is the wire loss. Here you have just shit wires, too thin, and by the time you're drawing power here, the voltage drops. So I'm going to have to replace the wire with something thicker, use the XC60 connector for something better. Let's look at the rest. Here I have a low voltage relay. So the battery gets too low to protect it, it will disconnect. Here I also have a little disconnect switch for the relay. Let me, so if I turn it off for a second, everything goes dark and everything drops to 0 as expected. I'm going to turn things back on. From here, it goes to cigarette lighter adapters. It's also going to another power distribution board I made, which is going to the laptop. And it's going to a bunch of 12 volt wires that are going to all kinds of chargers that take 12 volts. Lithium or AA's, those are LiPos. This is an everything charger. Right now it's charging a 12 volt battery. I'm going to turn it on. So let's see, we're using 3 amps. I'm going to turn it on. Okay, now it's charging and it went to 4-5 amps as expected. I'm not planning on using 120 volts, but I have an option here with this adapter. So this can make 120 volts. I have a soldering iron here. I'm not going to be using this because I have my own 12 volts. But the idea is if I really need, mains power, I have it. I can put a bigger one if I need. And right now you can see we're jumping to 9 amps, so it's already using a lot more. And then the biggest piece that's very helpful here is that Anker charger. Gives me a lot of ports to 5 volts. Can charge cell phones. This is actually a battery charger that uses 5 volts, very nice. Some USB fans. Really, anytime you can buy something that works on USB, but if it's high power like LiPo chargers and all that, they probably want 12 volts or more, because USB cannot provide enough watts unless it's USB-C power delivery, which most things don't do, and this one definitely doesn't. So anyway, that's the idea. So the battery will be charging during the day. At night it will be discharging, and then the next day will come back, and that will provide power during Burning Man. And that is how I charge all my stuff. I hope that's helpful.